What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the DC edition of the Ragin Nation show. This is Webster's. We're talking about all things matter to me in the DC Extended Universe. This is episode number 55, and it's been a while since I've done a DC edition episode. There just wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but now there is. There's something in here that's really, really exciting to talk about, and we're going to talk about in this episode. But what is really going on right now? Well, of course, Zack Snyder, hard at work, working on Justice League, and he's going to bring us that very, very soon, next year, and I'm really excited about that, seeing all those heroes come together as a team. So that's happening. But you do remember that there's supposed to be 2 Justice League films. Well, the first one was supposed to come out next year, which it's still happening, but the second one is actually going to be delayed even further. Originally, the date was June 14th, 2019, so 2 years after the release of the first Justice League film, but apparently Warner Brothers actually wants to delay it. And why would they want to delay it? Well, that is because they want to put their money on something that is more of a surefire hit. And what is that? Of course, that would be Batman. Batman is the most successful comic book franchise for Warner Brothers and DC Films. And so that is happening. We already know it's happening, but we just don't have any definitive details about it, except for the fact that Ben Affleck is starring as Batman. He's the writer, he's the director, and he's supposed to be working on that right now, which, as a matter of fact, he is working on right now, but there hasn't been a whole lot of talk about it, and Ben Affleck has been very vague when he talks about the process of writing Batman. And the main reason why is because he doesn't want to rush it. He does not want to rush the script development of the Batman. That's what it's tentatively being called. And it's mainly because, well, we've seen so many Batman films. The last 3 Batman films made up an incredible trilogy. And so he's got a really, really tough job to fill, because he has to not only make them equally as good, but potentially make them better. And that's going to be those are tough shoes to fill, but he wants to do that. And he doesn't want to just rush a script and then get the movie rolling along. He wants to get the script perfect, and as far as I know, based on rumors, it revolves around Arkham Asylum. But anyways, that's all I know. But there's something that Ben Affleck did mention, and that is, it looks like they're on schedule for a shooting schedule of spring 2017. So spring 2017, if they're shooting then, that means we will see a release for the Batman film in 2018. Considering that Batman is their most popular franchise in DC films, it would make sense to give us more of those types of films. And by those types of films, I mean films that actually take place in the Batman universe. One of those films was actually Suicide Squad, which, despite negative reviews, like a lot of negative reviews, it ended up still being a huge financial success. And, you know, studio executives, they just look at money. They don't care about what the critics say. As long as the movie made money, it means that people are actually going to watch their films. They're terrible films. And, so that's all that matters to them. Now we're going to talk about the juicy stuff, because apparently Warner Brothers wants to expand the Batman universe by spinning off the Suicide Squad, because the Suicide Squad was such a huge success. So we're getting 3 more films that is spun off from the Suicide Squad. First of all, there's Suicide Squad, a sequel, which is really happening. There's a Deadshot solo film. And also, well, it's not going to be a Harley Quinn spin-off anymore. It's actually going to be a what they're calling, which they're calling an official tentative title right now, Gotham City Sirens. So let's talk about them in order. Suicide Squad 2. That's kind of like a given, because Suicide Squad was a huge success, so there's going to be a sequel. And David Ayer did talk about a sequel, but he didn't specifically mention if he was returning to direct. He most likely will serve as a producer, but he didn't mention if he was going to direct. But the Suicide Squad sequel is kind of like a given, considering that they can really introduce more characters from the Suicide Squad comics into the mix. Because they've only just, like brought in like some recognizable characters, but there are other characters out there. For example, there's like a King Shark. Now there's also the Deadshot solo film, of course starring Will Smith. Will Smith as Deadshot, in my opinion, was the best part about Suicide Squad, right next to Harley Quinn and the minimal scenes of Joker. But I loved Will Smith's portrayal as Deadshot. He did such a great job, and it's great to know that this is happening because now he could have his starring role in a solo comic book film as the title character. That would be sweet, and he could, you know, he could once again take on Batman in some small scenes. So there's just so much they could do with that. There's a lot of potential there for them to really expand this universe. Now, the most interesting news is, of course, that Gotham City Sirens film, which I guess is spun off from the Birds of Prey comics. Now, Margot Robbie did mention that she is going to be playing Harley Quinn in a solo film, which she is going to be executive producing under her production company banner. That's something that's really happening, and well, it's going to happen in the form of this film, Gotham City Sirens, which is a female-led DC villains movie, which is, of course, based in the Batman universe. So, confirmed so far is, of course, Harley Quinn. There's also going to be Poison Ivy and also Catwoman. Now, we've seen Catwoman before in the past from Batman Returns, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and also Selena Kyle in The Dark Knight Rises, played by Anne Hathaway. Now, there's going to be another Catwoman. And hopefully it's got nothing to do with Halle Berry, but this is a, of course, new universe. So those are the characters so far: Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and a Catwoman. There's a lot of other characters they could add in there. Of course, if they're taking elements from Birds of Prey, there's Oracle. They could add in Katana. There's so much they could do with this. And one of the things that is confirmed that shows that this is the film that's moving forward first is that David Ayer is actually directing. David Ayer, who did direct Suicide Squad, will be directing Gotham City Sirens. And to top things off, they already have a writer. And that is Geneva Robertson-Dworet. Now, if her name sounds familiar, it's because she's the writer for the Tomb Raider reboot, Sherlock Holmes 3, and also she's one of the writers for one of the films in the writer's room of the Transformers Cinematic Universe. So she's attached to some pretty high-profile projects. Gotham City Sirens is one of them, so that is actually happening. Now, here's where it gets a little crazy. Now, we know that this film is moving forward. They got a director, they got a writer, they got a star who is also executive producing. Now, the casting. There's a rumor going around right now which says that Megan Fox could be playing Poison Ivy. Now, this was reported by Bleeding Cool from one of the writers, and it's something that I kind of don't want to happen. Because even though she does look like Poison Ivy, like she could totally play the part, like as in like she looks the part, I just don't know if that is a good choice because she's not a very good actor. Megan Fox is only good in Michael Bay films like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers, and she just looks good, but I don't think she's a good actor at all. But apparently, Rich Johnston, who is a writer for BleedingCool.com, actually has reason to believe that Megan Fox will be playing Poison Ivy in Gotham City Sirens, directed by David Ayer. And what he says is that she's a huge fan of a lot of comic books. All right, so whatever. A lot of people are huge fans of comic books. She was originally committed to playing Fathom in the Michael Turner comic book series. But then that didn't happen. That fell through. She's a huge fan of comic books, and she's also starred in a lot of comic book films, such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jonah Hex, and also she plays Lois Lane in Robot Chicken. But here's the giveaway. It won't be a dead giveaway per se, but it will be something that can be taken into consideration, and that is she, and by she I mean Megan Fox. She actually pre-ordered a bunch of pre-52 Harley Quinn comics, which feature Poison Ivy, and it was sent to her Warner Studios address. Now, this happened recently, so it could mean that she got the part, or rather, she's considered for the part, and she's doing her research for the role. So, it is possible that Megan Fox could be playing Poison Ivy, and if that is true, then the casting directors are merely picking her based on looks alone. That's all it is. Poison Ivy is a character that has a lot of sex appeal. Megan Fox is that type of woman. But as for her acting, not really up to par. Not really up to what I would think would be a good standard for a franchise of such a high profile. But anyways, that could be happening, but we don't know. We will see. It is only just a rumor after all. But anyways, that's what's happening. I'm really looking forward to the Batman, the Deadshot solo film, Suicide Squad 2, if they can make it better than the first one, and of course, the David Ayer directed Gotham City Sirens film. It's going to be awesome, and I'm glad they're expanding the Batman universe, because the Batman universe in itself is huge. There's so much material in there that they could draw from, and I think they're going in the right direction, and hopefully they do. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more news and reviews, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.
A hell of a job, brother. When we get back to the base, beer's on me.
He's about to go up against the only thing they can't handle. You.